Did you know that a single tigress once killed more than 436 people? Why did she turn into the deadliest man-eater the world has ever known? And what kind of man would risk everything to stop her? This is the haunting story of the Champawat Tigress and the hunter who brought her reign of terror to an end, Jim Corbett. Our story begins in the late 1800s in the foothills of the Himalayas. The region stretched across Nepal and northern India, a land of thick jungles, rushing rivers, and small villages hidden in the valleys. Life was hard but simple. Farmers tended their fields, children played outside until sunset, and people respected the jungle, but never truly feared it. That all changed when the tigress appeared. At first, the killings seemed like chance encounters. A villager missing in the forest, a woman gone while collecting firewood, a shepherd who never returned with his flock. But then the pattern grew. More and more bodies were discovered, torn apart in the very fields where people once felt safe. Fear spread like wildfire. Entire families stopped farming their land. Villages emptied at night, doors bolted shut long before dusk. The silence of the jungle was broken only by the chilling cries of the tigress. By the time the toll climbed past 200, people whispered legends. Some said she was not an ordinary animal, but a demon cursed to hunt humans. Others believed she carried the spirits of those she killed. Whatever the truth, one thing was certain: she had no rival in terror. Local rulers and the British authorities tried everything. They offered rewards, hired hunters, even sent armed patrols. But the tigress was clever. She struck swiftly, then vanished back into the jungle. By the early 1900s, the number of victims had reached staggering heights. In Nepal, her attacks became so relentless that villages were abandoned altogether. Driven by desperation, the Nepalese government pushed her across the border into India. But instead of ending the nightmare, it only shifted it to a new hunting ground, the district of Champawat in Kumaon. And here, the death toll soared past 436 confirmed human victims. In 1907, the British finally called on a young but skilled hunter named Jim Corbett. Born in India, Corbett had grown up in the forests, learning to track animals with unmatched patience and skill. Unlike other hunters who sought fame, Corbett had a deep respect for the jungle and its creatures. When he accepted the mission to track the Champawat Tigress, he understood the weight of the responsibility. Hundreds of lives had been lost. Thousands more lived in fear. This was not sport, it was survival. Corbett began by following her trails. He studied her paw prints in the dust, the claw marks on tree trunks, and the eerie silence of the jungle where she passed. Villagers guided him to attack sites, showing bloodstains, broken branches, and shredded clothing. Each story was worse than the last. A mother taken in front of her children, farmers dragged from their fields, entire villages living under siege. The tigress seemed almost supernatural in her ability to vanish. But Corbett was patient. He knew that even the cleverest would eventually make a mistake. The turning point came one grim morning when the tigress killed a young girl outside a village. Corbett and hundreds of terrified villagers followed the trail of blood into the jungle. With every step, tension thickened. The beast was near. Suddenly, from the shadows, she emerged, a massive Bengal tigress, her eyes burning with fury. The villagers panicked, scattering in fear. But Corbett held steady. He raised his rifle, waited for the perfect moment, and the shot echoed through the valley. The tigress staggered, but did not fall. She charged, roaring with rage. Corbett fired again, and this time the hunt was over. After years of fear, the terror of Champawat was finally. But Corbett's victory brought not triumph, but revelation. On examining her body, he discovered the truth. Her canine teeth were broken and infected. She could no longer hunt deer or wild boar. Out of desperation, she had turned to humans, the easiest prey. For Corbett, this changed everything. He no longer saw her as a monster, but as a victim of injury and survival. The hunt for the Champawat Tigress transformed Corbett's life. He continued to track other man-eaters, but with each hunt, he grew more committed to protecting wildlife. Later, he became a pioneer of conservation, writing books about his experiences and fighting to preserve India's forests. Today, the Jim Corbett National Park in Uttarakhand stands as a tribute to his legacy, a place where tigers roam free, protected rather than hunted. The story of the Champawat Tigress is more than a tale of terror. It is a reminder of the fragile balance between humans and nature. She remains the man-eater in recorded history, yet her story also reveals how pain and desperation can twist even the most majestic of creatures into. And in the end, it was not just the death of a tigress, but the birth of a conservationist. The story of the Champawat Tigress is not just about a that claimed hundreds of lives. It is a reminder of how fragile the balance is between humans and the wild. She became the deadliest man-eater in history, not because she chose to, but because survival left her no other path. Jim Corbett ended her reign of terror, but in doing so, he also began a new journey, one that transformed him from hunter to protector. His legacy lives on in conservation, proving that even the darkest stories can carry lessons of respect and responsibility toward nature. The Champawat Tigress will forever be remembered as the most feared of them all, but perhaps also as the one who changed the way we look at the tiger. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more legends of lions, tigers, and the wild, make sure to like this video, share it with others who love wildlife, and subscribe to Roar of Legends. Your support keeps these stories alive and helps us bring you more untold tales from the jungle.